business 2.0, and you know, I only bring fellas on here that's official and cats that I respect in this art of hip hop and what we do. And I have to say that this brother that's joining me right now is the first producer that I've had on the show. His track record speaks for itself. If you know, you know. And I'm introducing today my man, Rich Lee. What's happening, baby?
Hey, what's going on?
Man, you
How you
got it, you
feeling?
got it. Feeling good, man, feeling good. You know, like I said, I wanted to have you on the show. I know we had a little technical issues off air, but we live in effect right now.
Right.
And I wanted to bring you on, man, because your track record in as far as producing for different people and your sound, you have a signature sound. So I really wanted to talk to you about, your story, how you developed your sound, your influences on so on and so on. So to jump it off, first and foremost, tell us a little bit of your history. When did you start getting behind the boards? I know you're a DJ too. You DJ too. But what got you into
Mm-hmm.
hip hop? Tell me the story.
Oh, well, I always loved hip hop, but I had a knack for techno music. I used to do techno music really. And and I started out with a couple cats, local cats here, Jay Denham, Tyrone Holland,
Right.
these are my old school guys. And I
Shout
kind
out
of
to them.
got into shout out to everybody. And
Mhm.
I kind of got into a bind with it. My money wasn't right with it,
Mhm.
and I wasn't really feeling it no more. So I got with this guy named Bandit, and got with him a long time ago and started making hip hop beats with him, and it could just kind of grew from there.
Okay. All right. What year was this? Was y'all doing a techno? Because Jay Denham, all them cats, obviously they stayed on the technical side, techno side of things, and obviously you were kind of rotating between both fields. So what year would you say? What you remember the year of that when you first started?
I have to say like between like 89 and 92, 93.
Oh, okay, okay, no doubt, no doubt. So then you were always on the tables. So how did you kind of transfer to start just doing beats? Because you've done beats for a lot of people that I know, or people that I don't know. I know you moved around a little bit. You were in
Mhm.
Indiana for a while, right?
Right.
So yeah, and I know you were mobbed up and clicked up with some cats out there. So I did a little research. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So tell me, how did that come about? Like you said, you work with a cat named Bandit, but who are some of the other cats that maybe influenced you on to get into producing, or was it just that you just had an ear for it?
I always had an ear for it,
Mm-hmm.
but the more and more that I put myself out there, a lot of other people will come, like gravitate towards me. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
like I had some artists like, and these are old school guys too. Rest in peace, Touche, Terrence Lipsey,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Rest in
then
peace.
MC Mighty. Those two were running buddies. They had a group called Kinfolk back then,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually started doing stuff with them. And then can't forget about Gangsta Knot, Northside
Yeah,
Mafia.
my guy, Gangsta Knot,
Yeah.
Side Mafia.
So I mean, I kind of just moved around a little bit. I kind of like caught vibes from everybody else that I hung around with, that I
Mm-hmm.
did music with.
Yeah,
That's why it
yeah,
was always easy for me to give them to bring something to the table and give them something.
right. So you got a signature sound, like I said, man, and I know a Rich Lee beat when I hear it. So how did you develop your sound? Because you use a lot of. I know at one time I can hear your beats is like a lot of 808. You did a
Hmm.
lot of you did a lot of things with the keys, and so how did you kind of develop your signature sound?
Um, I guess when I started off, I was doing a lot of sampling, and
Mm-hmm.
I kind of was like taking bits and biting bits and pieces from like Prince Paul, oh so man, the guy, the Guru's DJ, I forget his name,
Premier.
but
You
Premier,
talking about
DJ
Premier?
Premier.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
got a
Mm-hmm.
lot of ideas, especially DJ Premier.
Mm-hmm.
And but I don't know, some about the Midwest sound. I guess I got, my thing is I like a lot of pianos. I like more musical stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
don't like a lot of, I grew out of the sampling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So after that, I think after I grew out the sampling, I started trying to create my own sound, like with a lot of pianos, but still funky. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
That's
still
what you got,
hard.
that funk. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of like, you know what I'm saying, if I'm a
Yeah. So now with that being said, and that's kind of how you put your sound together. And I wanted to know also, as far as the cats you work with, because I know I worked with you one time, so I kind of regret we didn't get a chance to work more with each other, one on one. But you moved to Indiana. You kind of, like I mentioned earlier, you clicked up with some cats. What was the name of that clique that you were running with that you had down there?
the outfit.
The Outfit, right? So y'all
That,
made some
that's
noise down there, right? Y'all made some noise, man. What was how did that go? Kind of tell me how that got together.
um actually the CEO of the group right now, me and his cousin used to work together at a Harris Showboat.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in the back room, me and him got cool and stuff. And I told him I make beats and stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, oh yeah, I rap and stuff. I said, well, he said, well, if you make beats, make me a beat right here. So I get the beating on the washing machine table, you know what I'm saying? He
Yeah.
get the spitting for me.
Yeah.
And then I think the next day I brought him some sample beats.
Mm.
And I put him on. He was like, man, I gotta let you hear my cousins. Man, my cousin's starting a group. I gotta let you hear them.
Mm.
And we just clicked, man. It was like 6 or 7 of us at one time.
Yeah.
We had a big click.
Y'all was mobbed out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how many
Yeah.
projects did y'all release?
Let me see. We did Welcome to Indiana. We did Ain't Shit Gonna Change.
Mm-hmm.
And then Coleon put out his solo album. That's another artist that's in the group.
Okay.
He put out his solo album, and I produced like 8 tracks on there.
Mm-hmm.
And then Untouchable, he's another artist, Untouchable one, and I think I did a few tracks on his solo album, and then we did some mixtapes,
Okay.
for who was that? Oh man, the DJ, I forget his name, but DJ's for Power 92
Okay.
in
In
Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, Kid Scratch.
Yeah. Kid Scratch. Yeah.
Kid Scratch, he actually did our mixtape,
Okay.
our first mixtape. And then, we was on like, man, we've been on the Midwest mobster CDs, the compilations back in the day, the Midwest gangster shit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm sorry if I cursed
Oh,
a
you
little bit.
good. You good. You good.
But yeah, man, we made some noise, and they really doing it now. Now we got a TV show called Outfit TV.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
they perform every weekend.
What can they catch that
You
show at?
know,
The Outfit TV.
anybody ever in Indiana? The Voodoo Outfit TV is
Mm.
streaming. It streams live
Streams.
on
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So y'all can check that out. No doubt.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And they perform at the anybody that's in the East Chicago or Portage, Indiana, close to between Gary and Chicago area. They perform at a place called the Voodoo Lounge
I've heard of
every
that spot.
Friday.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So do y'all still rotate? Y'all still affiliated, or I know because you moved since then, right? So
Mm-hmm.
y'all still affiliated? You still do production for them, or
Oh
how does
yeah.
that work? Okay, you still do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I send them. I usually send them. Most of the time, I'm sending them beats,
Mm-hmm.
and every once in a while, Black Mark, we call him Black,
Mm-hmm.
Untouchable one, same dude. He'll come up here and bring his boys up here, and we'll just gig for a while, and then
Mm-hmm.
he'll go back home. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Right. Right. Do you
that's
have?
basically it.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you have producers that you kind of work with, like younger producers, as far as giving them tips and kind of like mentoring or anything like that? Or because I've heard, like I said, you have your own signature I don't want to limit it to Midwest sound, but it just feels like Midwest, you know. But like, you got
Mm-hmm.
any like producers that you kind of work with, took under your wing along the way?
Um, I won't say like took under my wing. I worked with some.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
like, um, my son.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
he do a little bit,
yeah,
and then but I just far as working with people, I always work with people.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
like I said, I wouldn't say I like took them under my wing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm usually I'm usually too busy to be trying to
I
teach
know.
everybody or
Yeah,
teach somebody something. But
yeah, I hear that. I
yeah,
hear that.
I
Yeah.
mean, I guess they they just kind of follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I know a lot of times producers like to work on their own, right? Too many cooks in the kitchen kind of thing. I've seen like two or more producers kind of collab, and maybe I'll add a piano to the track, or somebody else will come along and add the bass line, or somebody will play the acoustic guitar or something. But how do you feel about working with other producers? Are you pretty much a self-contained unit, like you like to work by yourself, or when you in the studio in the lab, do you mind somebody coming along and adding something to what you're doing, or you kind of
Not at
like to do your
all.
own thing? No, okay,
No, not at all. I don't mind working with other producers. I mean, I can learn something from them, and as well as they learning something from me.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I don't,
yeah,
I don't, I don't mind that. Now, sometimes I will work better if I'm working by myself.
right,
Like say, like how you'll have a guy come in and he'll sit and listen to you make a beat and try to
mm-hmm,
write.
mm-hmm,
That's one thing I really try to stay away from because I'm constantly stopping and starting the beat while he
mm-hmm,
trying to write.
right,
So
yeah, yeah,
that don't work for me.
yeah,
But you usually get the best out of me if I can concentrate by myself.
mm-hmm,
If I'm
yeah,
doing a project by myself. But if somebody comes along or invites me on a project or something, or I invite them on a project, no, I ain't got a problem with it at all.
yeah. Do you feel like, and I can only speak for myself, but do you feel like you made some mistakes in the game? Where you have any regrets at all? As far as, oh man, if I had if this situation would have popped off, or had I handled something differently, do you have any of them stories or feel like that at all?
I I guess like when I first put out the techno record,
Mm,
uh, I mean I guess it is what it is. My first record I had put out, and I think my first royalty check was only $300, and then they took out the cost of busing me from
yeah.
Grand Rapids to Detroit, and the cost of the label, the cost of the print, the press the record, and
Mm.
I'm like, oh my God, studio time, and I'm like, by the time I got
Yeah.
the check, I said, man, this ain't nothing but my bus ticket home. I'm like, what is this?
Everybody got their hands in it, man. That's the bad part about it, right?
Man,
9 people got their
yeah,
hands in it before they even see you. Don't have a manager. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay.
no,
You know what I'm saying? Don't have somebody that you got to pay. So yeah, yeah. So basically, do you think that was just a, I guess the word I'm looking for is just a result of bad business? You felt like, or
I
how do you think
felt
that?
like it. I felt like it was bad business
Yeah.
because later on they ended up licensing the record to RNS Recordings in Belgium, and it sold. It was the first
Yeah.
release on a new sub label, so and it did good.
Mm-hmm.
I just got known for it, but never got too much money out of it.
Yeah.
I just learned from that. One thing you always have to learn: keep your paperwork in order. Don't sign nothing that you don't know about. If you
Mm-hmm. I'm
can't
glad.
understand it, go find you somebody, a lawyer or somebody who ain't gonna get all in your pocket.
Mm. I'm glad you brought that up, because that was kind of where I was going with it too. Because I think all of us being young and not knowing any better, before, like you said, before we got our first royalty check, it's about 8, 9 hands in it already, and they took
Mm-hmm.
out, and we looking like, you know, what's this? You know what I'm saying? And it's like you said, you got a platinum record out there probably somewhere. And because what they do is redistribute it, republish it, and especially if you don't have own the rights to it, they can pretty much remix it, put it on compilations here and there, and chop it up. You know, record labels, man, we already know they're shady, but they'll take a record and find 15, 16 different ways to profit off of it. You know what I'm saying? And the artists only get, you know, we might get, if we got our royalties by publishing, right, we'll get that royalty, but, you know, I like the game nowadays. What you feel about the game nowadays, man? Because I was talking to somebody about this. There's no gatekeepers anymore. You remember back in the day, to get your record played, you had to go through a DJ or some kind of record pool or whatever. But now these days, you throw something online, it could blow. It could just catch fire. Right. You know, so we don't got the gatekeepers no more. And we had to kind of climb and claw and go through back channels and all types of things, right, to get a record played. What you feel about today with the technology? You know, you could put something on on the internet right now, and it catches fire. You own it. So, what's your thoughts?
I love that the game has changed like that. Yeah. That goes to show that the record companies can no longer. They can't. They don't really have any control over you, and you can create your own buzz. You don't need an A&R to do it for you. You can do it yourself.
Yeah.
You know, Chance the Rapper did it. He came up. He ain't signed nothing. He came up off of YouTube, SoundCloud.
YouTube, exactly.
I think YouTube was SoundCloud. That's all he did. Nipsey Hussle, he didn't go to no record company. He sold his first mixtape. What was $100? He was selling them out of his trunk.
Yeah. Soulja Boy, Soulja Boy. I think he kind of went through. Soulja Boy kind of went through his own off the internet. Blew, kind of caught fire off the internet. I mean, it's countless examples. Drake caught fire off the internet. You know,
you just got to be hot. You got to be hot at the right moment and have that right hot song. That's all it takes.
Yeah, that's all it takes. I'm with you though, bro, because I like how it is now. I'm not one of them artists that's like, oh man, yeah, we had that. We would have, if we would have, could have, should have, right?
Right.
And so I like it because I'm still active, still doing music. I still have an opportunity to have my music passed around globally and or wherever, and it still has an audience, you know. And I know you feel the same way because you're still active, you know. And so okay, you blocked. We froze up for a minute, but
yeah, we did. I was trying to hear you for a minute.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that I like it this way because we are still active, and so we ain't gonna talk about woulda, coulda, shoulda. We still out here doing what we do, and there's still opportunities to secure that fan base and expand that fan base because we can use the same tools everybody else uses.
Exactly.
You know, so ain't no need to complain about that. So let me ask you, what you got going on now? I know you're cooking up something, and what you got going on now as far as production?
I got a couple artists that I'm trying to get together and try to get working because I go to work outside of my craft.
Right.
So right now I'm just trying to put some tracks together for them, see what we can come up with. Because one is from here and one is from Alabama. Okay. So I got a down south cat that's gonna give me that down south flow, and then I got my Midwest cat. Actually, Tiba, you remember Tiba that was with when we had Face Down?
Yeah.
He's still a rapper. So I'm working with Tiba right now. And then whenever Myron come in town, because Myron is out in Texas now, so he'll come and I'll do stuff for him. I actually did. I don't know if you remember Joe Babbitt, Rapping Joe.
Yeah, I do.
You know, he passed away. I think last year. Now I did his whole album.
Did you?
And I'm just sitting on it. Yeah, I'm just sitting on it.
So you thinking about you still gonna release it, or what are you thinking about doing?
I'm gonna release it because I talked to his family member and they said that if I want to release it, just release it. I said, well, if I'm not looking for no compensation off of it. I just want his music to be heard.
Right.
I'll put it out, you know, because he had a lot of tracks on there that I didn't do. So
You kind of
I
got to
think I
clear
did two
that though.
tracks. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, I may put it out. I don't know. We'll see. I might put it out a couple of tracks here and there to see what it do.
Hmm.
You know.
Do you feel like your production style has kind of changed over the years, or you feel like you pretty much have stayed with your signature sound and just enhanced it?
I think I just stayed with my signature sound and enhanced it.
Okay.
I will step outside the box every now and then and do something else,
Hmm.
but I kind of stuck with my signature style.
Okay. Okay. And nothing wrong with that, man. I kind of feel like if it's winning, if it's jamming, then you stay with it. You know what I mean?
I ain't had no complaints so far.
Right. Right. Yeah, I hear that. Man, I like what you said about producers and just artists in general protecting their music though, because that's really big, man. That's in essence, that's really what we do, man. We don't, before you put anything out, we need to be protecting our work. And I think where I try to come in with other cats that I rotate with and talk to, just say, man, before you put anything out, make sure you got your ducks in a row. Make sure you
Hmm.
got your ducks in a row, because it's easy. I've seen people online talk about, hey, if people ain't got their paperwork right, I'm gonna rip their beat off and I'm gonna, take this and take that. And there's just some sharks in the game, right? It's just a lot of sharks out there, man. So this is something that every time I hear an artist that or somebody that I bring on, like yourself, I said, you obviously, like I said, the first producer to come on here. Uh, every time I hear something like that, it just makes me kind of just keeps me on my toes and say, hey, this is somebody's doing it right, because I hear so many people that don't even know they don't know what publishing is. They don't know
Hmm.
anything about the game. So we had to learn the hard way. But I wanted to know also, man, as far as the new music, what are your thoughts about the new artists out right now, and the new sounds, the Zaytovens and all these other producers, man? Do you listen to it all at all? Do you ignore it? Uh, what are your thoughts about the new music out right now? Oh, there we
Break it
go.
up.
Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you hear me? Did you hear my
Some
question?
some of it you was breaking up. I couldn't hear it.
I was saying, what are your thoughts about the new producers out right now? So you can name the Zaytovens, and it's just new producers. It's a new sound altogether. And I
Um,
know that I don't. Yeah, I know that some of the stuff I'm doing right now doesn't necessarily match up with what's out there, but it's on purpose. So, but what are your thoughts on some of the new music out right now?
um, I kind of like some of it. Some of it is a little bit redundant to me, a little
Mm,
bit. Like
yeah.
I guess Metro Boomin is like I I I ain't trying to diss him or nothing, but it's just like my cup of tea. Some of his
Hmm.
stuff. Zaytoven, he all right. Uh,
Yeah.
some of the new man, I mean, there's some hot ones, but a lot of the time, man, I'm still gonna ride with my old ones like Dr. Dre,
Hmm.
David Banner. And, he really ain't doing nothing too much right now. He's advocating now. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and you know, Timberland still do stuff. I got him on Instagram. He always working,
Yeah. He's still
playing
working.
around. So
Yeah. Yeah.
uh Scott Storch, I like Scott Storch. He hot.
Yeah. I like him too. I
He,
like him
he,
too.
he got
Yeah.
I even like T-Pain still, his producing style.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
was just watching a documentary about him last night. It's funny you mentioned him, and he was talking about how a lot of people thought he ruined the game, but with that old auto tune thing, right? But I like his production, man. I like T Pain. Ever since he came out, like he's trying to do
hmm
something different. He's
yeah.
trying to innovate, and I don't really feel like I feel like a lot of these newer producers, man. I'm hearing a lot of samples now. People just
hmm
taking whole samples and just replaying them. It
Yeah.
ain't. And I think what we really lost is just the live. Like you mentioned Dre and what DJ Quick is one of my favorites. Like Quick is
hmm
a favorite of mine. like they just missing the live instruments. All this, a lot of this sound robotic and like you said, repetitive. But when you bring that live instruments into it, man, it just gives the track room to breathe and it just sounds more authentic. It's
It
just
bring
my
a
opinion.
whole different flavor, bring a whole
Yeah,
different feel
it
to
bring
it. It sound real. It make it sound real.
right, right, right. Well, let me ask you this, man, because close it out. I just wanted to see if you had anything you wanted to give to the new generation of producers, as far as a word of advice, some knowledge, some insight, anything like that. Because obviously you've been in the game for a long time, man. 30 years, I think I counted, right? So
Yeah.
you have valuable insight, and I know cats are just getting started. And so, what would you tell them, as far as maybe not compromising their sound? Because you mentioned you still rock with your same sound, you just enhance it. What kind of advice would you give these young upcoming producers out here?
I'm gonna say go with what works best for you. You know, I wouldn't change my style up just because it's trending now. I mean, you might have to bite the bullet on some of it, but just because it's trending doesn't necessarily mean it's trending for you.
Mm.
So, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it's and then stay focused at it. Definitely, if you want it, then go hard for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
as far as getting your paperwork together, man, SR forms, PA forms, fill them out. I wouldn't poor boy copyright nothing. If you got the money, if you got the
No.
money to send it to Library of Congress and do it the right way, then do it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sign yourself up for BMI or ASCAP. Get
Mm-hmm.
that in order. And then on top of that, if you're trying to own your own label, I go as far as get owning my own publishing company too. Get an LLC, own your own publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give nobody else the money.
No, no.
You want them to come to you.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Man, that's so valuable to have your own publishing too. I want to do a show just strictly about that, just having your own. And you mentioned, man, that's just another whole part of the game, owning your own label. So therefore, you own the publishing. Anybody who comes in under your tree, you own the publishing as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's right.
that's how you build an empire like a Death Row. That's how you build a Bad Boy, because these cats own these other brothers' publishing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you and I've heard a saying, you only get what you negotiate. You get what you negotiate.
Yep.
So if you're negotiating where you're publishing, hey, that's what it is. It is what it is. Sad to say, because nobody really schooled me to the game. I had to research, learn, bump my head a couple of
Mm-hmm.
times. And so,
Same. Yep. I do
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah. So, man, that's an OG right now talking to y'all and telling y'all how to get your paperwork in order, and even starting a label, what you need to do. That publishing is essential. That publishing is essential. So, man, I appreciate you stopping by and chopping it up with me, OG. This is like, again, I enjoy building with cats and guys that I respect in this game, and I've always respect your artistry, your production, and like, again, I appreciate you taking time, man. Salute. We had today my man Rich Lee. Thanks for dropping by, bro.
Man, thank you for having me, man. Thank you for
Yeah,
reaching out to me, man. We got to
yeah,
get together and get
yeah,
something going pretty soon, man.
yeah. We definitely will. We definitely will, man. We're gonna hook something up, because again, we only worked together once, and I kind of feel like we could have done a lot more. So why not do it now? We still active, so we're gonna make it happen, man. All right,
Yeah.
y'all. We out. Salute. Hey, I'm Jay. Thanks for checking out that last video, and also we hope you're enjoying the site. To join the CTMG family, head over to charlesandtrumbull.com. Also, you can check us out at charlesandtrumbull.bandcamp.com. That's charlesandtrumbull.bandcamp.com. Over there, you find the latest info and updates on artists, bios, and also purchase the new drip. We appreciate you guys checking us out. We see you next time. Thanks.